Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. A common request I get is can I do a video where I am decoding the news article as I go? So that's what I'm going to do in this video. A little bit different. I'm going to show you how I take these news articles, decode them, make a blog post, and then typically do a presentation. So this is going to take a little bit longer, but I'll show you how my routine works. I have a Mac, and part of the reason I like Mac, a very overpriced company, is because they make things simple. I can take screen captures of sections of the screen I want. So I always take a screenshot of the headline. Sometimes the timestamp is helpful. Then I'll read through the article. So this is an article about supposedly a gun advocate who's shot by her own son in her car. The story is supposedly from Tuesday of this week, March 8th. So, I'll read the article, and I'll just read it out loud as if I'm reading it to myself. CNN. A Florida woman known for a strong pro gun stance was shot accidentally by her 4-year-old son, authorities said. Jamie Gilt, 31, was taken to a hospital after the Tuesday shooting and is believed to be in stable condition. So, right away, I'm thinking, okay, the media has this ongoing agenda demonizing guns, demonizing gun owners, and here they tell us this woman, Jamie Gilt, has been shot by her own son. Of course, the name Gilt makes us think of guilty. You know, she's guilty of being a pro gun advocate. The obvious riddle within the name in terms of the overall agenda going on in the media with guns. The other thing that stands out to me right away from this decode, from doing these decodes so often, is that March 8th is most commonly written 3/8, and Florida in Gematria also equals 38. What I also notice is the name Jamie in Gematria equals 38. And with regards to guns, as many of you know, a 38 is a type of gun. So let's read on. A Putnam County Sheriff's deputy was on patrol when he noticed a truck stop partially in the travel lanes and a woman in the driver's seat motioning for help. The only other occupant in the vehicle was the boy, who was not harmed. She was sitting in the driver's seat and he was in the back seat behind her. He shot straight through. The bullet entered her lower back and exited through her abdominal area. It went through her and we recovered the round inside the vehicle. It was a .45 caliber, a handgun, Captain Joseph Wells said. Authorities said the firearm was legally owned by Gilt, who maintained a Facebook page entitled Jamie Gilt for Gun Sense. I mean, can't you just feel how the authors of this story are laughing at the audience, as they always are in all of these propaganda stories? Where she regularly posted pro gun positions. On her personal Facebook page, Gilt once bragged about her son. Even my 4-year-old gets jacked up to target shoot with the 22. This story came out of Putnam County. Putnam has gematria of 22. Of course, a 22 is a gun as well. Both pages appeared to have been taken down by Wednesday afternoon. So the day after the shooting, the day this news story came out, the Facebook page is already down. And my guess is they wanted them down because they know people will go look and they'll likely see through the propaganda. Perhaps they made a mistake on the page. Perhaps it showed something else. They have to cover up the giveaways of their propaganda. Detectives have not been able to interview Gilt because of her medical condition. Florida law makes it a misdemeanor for a person to store or leave a loaded firearm in such a way that a child could gain access to it. Authorities said they won't make a decision on charges until they can speak with the woman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some screenshots of the post, and then I'm just going to break it down piece by piece. As I always do, we'll do it together so you can see what my method is. Hopefully this helps some of you who are trying to do this work. That is the mission of this video. This is a great skill to use if a story seems in question, because the gematria is often the proof you need to see through the propaganda. So here, I'm at my blog. I'm going to upload these screenshots I took real quick. Uh-oh, my face is in the way. For those of you who don't like my face down in the box, I'm sorry. I started doing this after having this request for months and months. It's hard to appease everyone. So this picture was from the front of the YouTube video. Let's just decode this real quick and see if we get anything here. Out of Hollister, Florida. The more you decode, the more you can see how they put the propaganda together. So, if you're new here, the way I just decoded this, H is the 8th letter, O is the 15th, but 1 plus 5 equals 6, L's the 12th letter, but 1 plus 2 equals 3, so L's 3, I is the 9th letter, S is the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 for 19 becomes 10, 1 plus 0 becomes 1. So S can represent 1 or 10 in this method, either way. T's the 20th letter, 2 plus 0 is 2, E's the 5th, R's the 18th, 1 plus 8 is 9. So Hollister sums to 46 or 55 with the S exception. And Florida the small way, just like this, 38 truth seeker. So we put it together, Hollister, Florida, got to type, right? Equals 84 or 93. And look at what day this news story comes out. March 9th, which is written 3-9 or 9-3, depending on where you are in the world. Remember, the word propaganda has gematria of 93 with the simple English gematria method. The first method we used was Pythagorean gematria, using the alphabetic order. P's the 16th letter, R's the 18th, O's the 15th, P's the 16th, so on. Propaganda equals 93. And as many people know, Florida, a state that is very Jewish. No secret there. It is the Zionist Jews who control the media and who code this way with their manufactured propaganda stories. With regards to 84 and 93, United States of America with Pythagorean gematria equals 84, 93, and 102. This is propaganda for the nation. So already something, you know. March 9th story, Hollister, Florida. I always decode in simple English gematria too, just to see if there's anything there. Once upon a time, it took me so much longer to do this. It's just that I've made thousands of posts, so now it's almost like a reflex breaking this all down. But anyway, Hollister in this method, 8 plus 15, 23, plus 12, 35, plus 12, 47, plus 9, 56, plus 19, 75, plus 20, 95, plus 5 more, 100, plus 18 more, 118. The number for death in Jewish gematria. You know, they could go, this story, the next detail could be that the woman died. You know, Jamie Gilt now dead. It's all propaganda. They might go there. But 118 is the death number in Jewish gematria. So we'll see if they take it there. It's a possible twist they have in store. Florida, 65 in simple English gematria. An important point, Pythagorean gematria and simple English gematria will always break down to the same single digit. Notice that Hollister's 46 or 55. 4 plus 6 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 55. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. Down here, 118. 1 plus 1 plus 8 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So Hollister breaks down to 1. Florida, 38. 3 plus 8 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. Florida down here, 65. 6 plus 5 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. I apologize if I'm going too fast. I'm just showing you this is an important check to make sure you've done your gematria correct. They're always going to break down to the same single digit, simple English gematria, Pythagorean gematria. Hollister, Florida this way is 183. So we see a sync already. The location and the date of the propaganda news story. Very fitting. If you've never seen my videos on Israel, everything there is coded 39 and 93. All right, so let us also not forget, let's just document this, is what I do. I'd probably write something like this. Remember, this story comes on March 8th, emphasis on 3/8, which corresponds with the gematria of 38 for Florida. And of course, a 38 is a model of handgun. Okay, so we see a pattern. The most important things to decode to start is the date, the location, and the important names given in the story. Always those things. Date, location, names. If you were looking at this as building a structure, that would be the foundation of your gematria breakdown. The other details will often fit in. So far we've got location, and we need to decode the date. Story comes on a date with 47 numerology. The Zionist state of Israel established in the year 47. 47, another member, important number to the powers that be. So these stand out to me about the date. The 47, a Masonic Zionist signature, and also the 27. The reason the 27 stands out to me is because I know from doing this research that Florida is the 27th state. So a good thing to use in your searches is this, Truth Seeker. You want to type in states in order of statehood. Wikipedia has this nice index for you. The date, the order of all states and the order they were established, starting with the 13 colonies. Here's Florida, the 27th state. Established March 3rd, 1845. And remember in the story that we read, she got shot with a 45. We'll see if there's any more 45s coded in the story. Earlier this year, they had the shooting of a young black man who was supposedly shot 33 times. I have a video on this. And they said he was carrying a 45, and both his first name and his last name in gematria equaled 45. I personally like that video. I go on a long rant. I'd say it's one of my better videos. You want to go back and check that out. I think the victim's name was Nicholas Robertson. Notice that Florida was established on March 3rd, 3-3. Favorite number of the Masons and Zionists. Fitting for Florida. So next up, what I want to decode is the name of the woman shot. That's the next name given here. They say her son's 4. They say she's 31. What stands out to me about that is 31 has a numerology of 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. Her son's 4. 4 and 4. 44, the kill number. 44 is also another type of handgun. So lots of coding for guns here already. 22, 38, 44, 45. Anyhow, let's decode the name Jamie Gilt. We're going to do both methods again. J is the 10th letter. 1 plus 0 becomes 1. A is the 1st. M is the 13th. 1 plus 3 becomes 4. I is the 9th. E is the 5th. Jamie equals 20 the small way. Gilt, 21. So Jamie Gilt equals 41 the small way, the 13th prime number. USA equals 41. Now in simple English gematria, J10, A1, M13, I9, E5. Put it together, the name sums to 38. Like Florida, like the date of the shooting. Fitting, right? Gilt, 48. What are some words with 48 gematria? Hoax, propaganda the small way, Illuminati, which is really just the Masons and the Zionists and these other secret societies in high places. Jamie Gilt this way sums to 86, which is the number for symbol, triangle, pyramid, republic. I just like to do it this way to document other words of significance. Citizen. And what's this propaganda about? Changing the laws of the Democratic Republic, making it so citizens have to pay taxes on guns, fees on guns, harder to get guns. They only want the criminals to have guns, the people on the black market. So Jamie Gilt. Quite a few 38s coded already. Suspicious name, story syncing up by the numbers already. They said it was Putnam County. Sometimes I get lazy. You know, it's not fun doing these breakdowns. My motivation is to wake people up to the dishonesty we live under. But notice that Putnam's 22 the small way. She said her son liked to shoot the 22. 22 is also the master builder number. This story, you know, it's part of this building of propaganda. Let's see what Putnam is in simple English gematria. $85. And again, going to break down to the same single digits. 85, 8 plus 5 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. All right. Some details more important than others. Whoops. Let's move on. Let's see what else they got going on. She was sitting in the driver's seat and was in the back seat behind her. Shot her with the 45, says Captain Joseph Wells. I always like to decode the police officer names. And I do it the way they spell it. Sometimes they'll put really interesting abbreviations, and they do it for a reason, because usually the numbers code out to sync up with the story. So let's see what Captain Joseph Wells has for us. And for those of you who want me to spell out each letter while I'm doing it this way, watch my How to Gematria video. You can learn these skills by practicing it. You'll learn it faster than you thought. When I first started, I would have thought this was impossible, what I'm doing now. But honestly, after I decoded all 50 states the small way and the big way, I had it all pretty much memorized. And, you know, if I had to decode all 50 states right now, if I did a video of that, I bet you I could do it in under 15 minutes. When I did it the first time, I think it took me around 2 hours. So, just like anything, the more you practice, the better you get. I'm no different than you. Captain Joseph Wells equals 58. Freemasonry equals 58. Freemasonry controls the police, controls the media, builds this propaganda by the numbers. Also sums to 76. Master the big way. And let's also see what Joseph Wells is. Joseph Wells is 45. How about that? And 63. It's a shooting of a 45, right? This is what I mean, truth seeker. Captain, that way. You could also spell out captain the full way and see what you get there. Sometimes there's even more hidden meaning, but I usually just like to take it the way they report it. Remember to always do your checks to make sure your single digits are lining up. $184, and Joseph Wells equals 144. Another number they love. Special number here, 144. Number that represents time in Jewish gematria, represents killer in Jewish gematria, represents mark of the beast. These are the paid agent liars that go before us that sit in the positions of authority. If you write out 44 as a word, it sums to 144. We talked about her age and her son's age, how it codes out to 44. The paragraph about how Facebook was taken down. If you've never seen my work on Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, his birthday is the same day as Israel's Independence Day. Little Zionist agent. Front. Probably never did anything. Facebook, Gematria 58, just like Freemasonry the small way. And I'm telling you, I've seen it since way before I knew about Gematria. I just watched how it was all going together at the time. Cell phones, 9/11, Facebook. This is the building of the police state around us. Cell phones, they track us. They're collecting all of our data. Facebook, we're just giving our information to them for free. So the next thing you can do for more information is you can watch the videos. Often there's more giveaways there. Like this image comes from the video of the Hollister, Florida with the March 9th. But do you see how I'm putting this together? decoding the key pieces: date, location, name, your foundation. And then you can decode the other details and see how they fit in with the story. For example, Putnam County, that is part of the location, but that's not as important as the city. We see how Putnam has the gematria of 22, the quote about her son liking to shoot 22s, and again, they're targeting handguns. Handguns. So let's watch the news coverage and see if we can get some more from what they put before our eyes. Sometimes you got to watch it multiple times to catch everything they're putting out there. Let's check it out.
Time to clean it up, showcasing the digging deeper into the social media accounts run by the Jacksonville mother, who was shot in the back by her 4-year-old son with her own gun Tuesday afternoon. Putnam County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the .45 caliber handgun was owned by.
So you're probably noticing what I'm noticing. This woman is attractive, looks like a model, looks like an actress, and she probably is truth seeker. You know? She's not making it in the soap operas or the movies or in the music videos, wherever she wants to be. So hey, here's an offer. Do a little job for the federal government and it probably pays pretty well too. Jamie Gilt.
My 31-year-old Jamie Gilt, seen in this modeling photo. And her social media pages revealed even more. For the past few years, the high-profile gun advocate ran this Facebook page called Gun Sense, where she posted pictures like these, all expressing her Second Amendment rights. Back in January, she even tweeted, "Got to play with my new toy."
All right, so I catch something right there. You know, I'm blessed with math. I can do math quick in my head, but I see something about this date right away. January 24th, 15, this tweet they want to put before our eyes. This is a date with a life lesson number of 33. So I'll show you how to do this real quick. Okay, so it's January 24th, 2015. So there's multiple methods. It's the life lesson method that stands out. This way has numerology of 60. Words with gematria of 60 are police, conspiracy. There's more, but those are interesting enough. This story is contrived by the police. Now, this is the life lesson number method. You add 1 plus 24 whole, so that equals 25, but then you compress the date. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 5 equals 8. 25 plus 8 is 33. And, you know, this is targeting handguns. Handgun happens to have the gematria of 33. This propaganda very much targeting handguns. Eventually, they might outlaw handguns and just say you can have hunting rifles. Something like that. See the other numerology for this date. It's good to be thorough. Sometimes you catch things you'd overlook otherwise. United States equals 40. When you write out 40 as a word and sum it in gematria, it sums to 84. Remember at the beginning, Hollister, Florida equaled 84. United States of America equals 44. Think about how United States is 40 and United States of America is 84. Think that's a coincidence? I don't. Not in light of everything else. But what I take away most is this 33 life lesson number. 33, a number that's very much connected to these shooting hoaxes. NRA has the gematria of 33. It's always the police who are in on it. This is a federal agenda. All words with 33 gematria. And remember, once upon a time, I started from ground zero, decoding, trying to put the pieces together, trying to make sense of it. And when it all really started to line up is when you start to recognize things like Washington, D.C. equals 137, American meridian equals 137, what the meridian is called that cuts through Washington, D.C. And then you see things like 137 is the 33rd prime number. And lo and behold, federal equals 33. Order equals 33. Words of significance. All right, let's go back and watch the rest of this news.
Time to clean it up, showcasing this shining custom handgun. We went to Gilt's home, but nobody was there. Neighbors told us that she was still recovering from surgery at the hospital and they wished her well. Right now, officials are still investigating the case and they say this is an unfortunate incident that should be an even bigger lesson to all parents.
I'd like, to take the opportunity to remind everybody that Florida statute is specific and it does state.
Truth Seeker, I don't mean to put people down, but honestly, I respect fitness, eating right, taking care of yourself, and it disgusts me how many officers are just fat slobs. You know, the majority of police I see are fat slobs, overwhelmingly, including this guy. I mean, he's not even that old. He's got a neck that looks like he could be 80. It's just gross. And this is another pig going before us, lying, contributing to the propaganda, and getting paid for it with our tax dollars.
That the adult household member or the child's guardian is responsible for taking all measures necessary to keep firearms out of the reach of young people.
And the captain says a gun lock should be every gun's best friend.
Those gun locks are available through the sheriff's office here in Putnam County. We'll provide them free of charge to any parent or anyone that wants a gun lock to help them make weapons safe around children.
Well, you know what? I can't get mad at that, giving out things for safety for free. That's probably good. But what's bad is scaring people with needless propaganda, which is surely what this story is. Jamie Guilt. So, with regards to 38, one word we haven't talked about yet is death also equals 38, matching up with Hollister. In simple English Gematria's death is 38. We'll see if that's where this story goes. That could be the next headline, that she died from getting shot through the back seat with the .45 from her 4-year-old son. Wouldn't surprise at all. And just know if that headline comes out, it's all bogus. It's all part of the big propaganda show. So I hope this was helpful. I think we pretty much covered it all. I didn't add county onto Putnam. Those are closing details you could add. County has 26 Gematria the small way, so Putnam County is 48. We talked about that number. Hoax, propaganda, evil, Illuminati, all words with 48 Gematria. So is Hollywood, This lady, it didn't work out in Hollywood, so now she's doing her thing in Putnam County with the shooting propaganda. A one-time role. Character name is done. No different than a story. Putnam County is 183. Seemed like something else was 183. So is Hollister, Florida. Hollister, Florida, and Putnam County, both 183. And that's the other thing, Truth Seeker. I don't know the significance of all of these numbers. It could be that a number 183 is important to these people. But to me, I don't recognize what's significant about it. So sometimes I see a lot of these numbers, but I don't talk about them in the video because I don't know what to tell you about them. I can tell you about other numbers, but not all of them. And that's part of the ongoing process. And that's part of the reason I've been asking for help since I started making these videos. Because the more minds working, the more minds researching, the further we can go. And I know what I just did, any of you can do if you take the time. Let me recommend 2 websites before we close this out. I want to show you something. If adding this up by hand is too much time, which I understand, you can type the words into this website, writingthebeast.com. If you do a web search, Writing the Beast, Gematria calculator, it'll come right up. If you type in Hollister the small way, you're going to get 46 just like we did, but notice you don't get 55. What you have to do for the S exceptions is add plus 9 more for every S. You have to do that manually. That's what this calculator won't do for you. It won't do the S exception. It won't do the K exception. It won't do the V exception. I normally ignore the K and V exceptions and just focus on the S. But for every S, you have to add plus 9 more. Just again, Hollister, Florida, we got 84 and 93. Here you're just going to get 84. Got to add that plus 9 for the S to get the 93. So be aware of that with the calculator. This website does 3 methods all at once, but it does not do the reduce method. Notice Hollister here is 118, but we don't see the 46 calculation. This website does Jewish Gematria, English Gematria, Simple English Gematria. What English Gematria is this method times 6. And then Jewish Gematria is on its own chart. I'll link my How to Gematria video in the description of this video, and you can learn the table for the Jewish Gematria. Or if you want to come here, you can learn it yourself just by typing in each letter individually. It'll tell you A is 1, all the way up to I, it's 1 through 9 for Jewish Gematria. Where it gets different in Jewish Gematria is J. J is a big jump. J is 600, K is 10. Anyway, you could figure it out that way, or you can just watch my How to Gematria video where I've put a table together, making things a little bit easier. So I think that wraps it up, Truth Seeker. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you want to go deeper, you should always find a second source and see what they're reporting. Here in this article, they tell us it happened on Roland Avenue just after 3 p.m. I have an older video telling my personal story where I was getting harassed by this cop. He pulled me over for no reason. And while he had me pulled over, I was so annoyed that I started telling him about Gematria and the police. And I was telling him about 33 and all this stuff. And he said to me, he goes, you know, you almost got it, but it's not so much about 33. It's more about 3. So look at this detail. Pulled over on Roland Avenue around 3 p.m. What do you think Roland equals, Truth Seeker? 33. How about it? This story comes from Roland Avenue. Another detail, that much more emphasis on the coded hoax by the routine numbers. So I think we've covered it all now. If anybody else wants to add on to this and make some more finds, please feel free to share them. There's always more out there that other eyes will see that I will not. Again, the more people working on this project, the further we're going to go. Until next time, Truth Seeker.